For as long as people have played Minecraft, there's always been sightings of unusual mobs, whether it's a mob with a full set of diamond armor or with an enchanted weapon. But some mob variations are so rare that they almost never happen, and that's what we're looking at today. Also, feel free to subscribe, as my goal is to get 100,000 subs by the end of 2025. Only 66,240 to go. Let's start with a drowned. Firstly, it has a 5% chance of spawning as a baby, and normally you might see a drowned that's holding nothing, or sometimes a trident, but it can actually hold a fishing rod, which is even more rare, with a 3.75% chance. As for its offhand, there's also a 3% chance for it to hold a Nautilus shell, which means that about 1 in every 17,778 drowned will spawn as a baby while also holding both items. But this still isn't the rarest drowned you can find, because the fishing rod can also be enchanted. The way mob enchantments work in Minecraft is similar to enchantment tables, but ranging from levels 5 to 22. So what is the rarest drowned fishing rod enchantment? Well, honestly, there isn't a single rarest enchantment, because the enchantment level will vary depending on the local difficulty multiplier, which is determined by how long you stay in a single chunk, the game's difficulty, as well as moon phases. But there are some enchantments which are harder to get, simply because it takes the multiplier longer to reach those levels. So what I'm going to be counting as the rarest is just the highest possible enchantment level, which is level 22 at the max difficulty multiplier. The multiplier ranges from 0 to 1, and 1 is only possible if you set the game to normal or hard mode after playing for an extended period of time. I used an enchantment calculator to find out what the rarest enchantment for a fishing rod is at level 22, and it turns out the rarest enchantment is a 16.6% chance for the rod to have Luck of the Sea 2. And yes, Unbreaking 2 is technically more rare with a 2.7% chance, but that enchantment is much more common at lower levels. Meanwhile, Luck of the Sea 2 is only possible at high levels. But what are the chances of finding this? Let's find out. Firstly, a baby drowned, which has a 0.05 chance. Next, it needs to hold both a fishing rod and a Nautilus shell, which is a 0.001125 chance. Now, let's times that by the 5% chance of it being a baby drowned, which gets us to 0.00005625 chance. The chance for the fishing rod to be enchanted at all is a 50% chance when the difficulty multiplier is at 1. So the chance of the fishing rod being enchanted on this specific baby drowned is a 0.4028125 chance. And finally, with Luck of the Sea 2, it's a 0.50466875 chance, meaning this drowned has around a 1 in 214,190 chance of spawning, but only when the difficulty multiplier is at 1, which you can track on the F3 menu. If you're wondering how hard it is to get a multiplier of 1, it can only happen after 63 in-game days on normal mode, if you stay within the same chunk the whole time, and it will only reach 1 when it's a full moon. So yeah, it can take a while for the conditions to be met to even have a chance of a drowned spawning like this. Now let's move on to a mob from the nether, the zombified piglin. Like the drowned, they each have a 5% chance of being a baby. They also spawn with golden swords, and this sword also has a chance of being enchanted. At level 22, we can see that the rarest enchantment is Sweeping Edge 2, with a 0.3% chance. So now, let's see how rare it would be for this zombified piglin to spawn with a difficulty multiplier of 1. We need to times the probability with a baby zombified piglin with a chance that it gets an enchanted sword in the first place. Now, we need to get that result and times it by the chance of getting Sweeping Edge 2. So every 1 in 13,333 zombified piglins will be a baby with the enchantment of Sweeping Edge 2 on the highest difficulty multiplier, making this a very rare mob variation. So now that we've gone through a couple of rare mobs and enchantments, here's Heppe with some of the rarest mob armor.
Yo guys, when the game calculates armor probability, all of the mobs use the same code. First, in order for a mob to wear any armor, there's a 15% times the regional difficulty chance, and since we're looking for the rarest mob, we will later need to assume that the regional difficulty is equal 1. So it's 15% times the specific armor's probability. On normal difficulty, it's 37% for leather, 49% for gold, 13% for chainmail, 1% for iron, and 0.04% for diamond. When it comes to the specific parts of the armor, it's interesting because not every combination is included in here. Mobs can't naturally spawn with just a helmet or just a chestplate, and even though full armor is actually the most probable, full armor with max enchants is quite rare. Having a mob spawn with fully enchanted armor is just a 6% chance, and having the strongest possible enchants, which you can't get protection for, so it's actually protection free, unbreaking free, and also feather falling, depth strider, fire, thorns, aqua affinity, and respiration. And the chances of getting any mob with that perfect armor are 6 times 10 to the power of minus 16%. But a mob can also be holding a weapon. Zombies can spawn with an iron sword or an iron shovel. So a zombie with maxed out armor and a maxed out iron sword has about 10 to the power of minus 20% chance. So 1 in 700 quadrillion zombies will be that strong. And let's quickly put that into perspective. Assume you have 1,000 computers. All of them are running Minecraft and you have reached the maximum regional difficulty on all of these computers. Let's assume that a zombie spawns every 1 millisecond. With that kind of setup, the expected amount of time for a zombie with maxed gear to spawn is 23,000 years. I assume for Rovand this is not enough, so remember that you can also make it into a baby zombie riding a chicken, and simultaneously a leader zombie with 100 max health, and its armor has max durability, which actually doesn't matter because mobs don't use up durability.
Also guys, the chances of these mobs spawning aren't 100% accurate since there's a lot of factors that go into them. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!